Hey, and welcome back to Bain's Bites. I'm Bain. So today we're making something really simple, really easy, good old-fashioned, nothing crazy about them crab cakes. I'm going to show you how we're going to make them. We're going to get them on the Blackstone. I'm going to show you how to make a little remoulade sauce to go along with it. So let's get started. So usually I'd like to get whole lump crab from the store, but they didn't have any at my store, and they only had 2 cans of regular lump crab. So we're going with canned lump crab. If you can get jumbo lump, or if you can get fresh crab, the better you can get, the better they're going to be, but this is still going to come out great. The next thing we need to do is get our wet ingredients. We're going to mix them all up. We'll add some breadcrumbs, and then we're going to stir them all together really easy and gentle, make some patties, and throw them in the fridge. Of course, you got to use some good old Duke's mayonnaise, or whatever kind you like, but if you don't like Duke's, you got to try it. We'll get about half a cup, maybe a third of a cup, but we'll start with, say, about half a cup of mayonnaise, about that much. Next, we're going to crack 1 egg in here. Throw this away and wash my hands. So after that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon or 2 of some Dijon mustard, or whatever kind of mustard you like. I'm going to do about another teaspoon or 2 of Worcestershire sauce, W sauce, Worcestershire, however you say it. But a couple splashes of that. Gotta have your favorite hot sauce. You don't have to, but you should. I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of that as well. The next thing we're gonna add is whatever kind of Cajun seasoning you have. We've got Malcom Reed's King Craw. So I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of this. You can use Tony Chachere's, you can use Old Bay, whatever you like, whatever kind of Cajun seasoning you have, or seafood seasoning. The next we're going to do is I'm going to zest this lemon. I've got a microplane. It's just a really fine hand grater. And all I want is the yellow side, just the edge of the peel, none of the white. I'm just going to work about half this lemon, maybe a little bit more of the zest, and get it down in here. I really lighten it up, help it taste fresh, and a little bit of zing would be great. That'll work. Make sure you get all the good stuff from the bottom. There we go. And the last thing I'm going to add is some green onion. So I'm going to grab a knife and chop these up really, really fine. Got all of our wet ingredients and seasonings. I'm just going to whisk these all together and blend them up real good. Now to our crab, I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of Panko breadcrumbs. Maybe a little bit less because I can always add some more. Now you want to be real gentle, but I'm just going to kind of mix these breadcrumbs in with the crab. Real light, just kind of lift and fold. And then we're going to do the same thing with our wet ingredients. I'm going to pour these in. And we're just going to fold this mixture all together. Try not to break up the crab as much as possible. Still looking just a little bit wetter than I'd want, so I'm going to add a few more breadcrumbs. I'd say I probably got about 3/4 of a cup in here. Now it's kind of coming together. All right, I'd say that looks pretty good. Now I've got a cutting board with some parchment paper. I'm just going to grab some of this mixture and form it into a little crab cake size patty. Any size you want, any shape you want, or thickness, it's up to you. It's going to be kind of wet and loose, but form it up tight, try to get it even, and then we're going to get these in the fridge and let them sit for at least half an hour, up to an hour or 2, so they can kind of come together. All right, so it ended up making 5 1/2, a little baby cake. I can use that as a tester, and that'll be our little pre-crab cake appetizer. But like I said, I'm just gonna put a little bit of plastic wrap over this, throw them in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, up to an hour or 2. Wash my hands up, we'll get all this cleaned up, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make the remoulade sauce to go along with these. So this remoulade sauce is super, super easy, very simple. Again, we're gonna start with some good old-fashioned Duke's mayonnaise. I'm going to go with about a half a cup again. As long as you have prepared mayonnaise, you don't make it fresh, this will last covered in the fridge for a good 7 days, so no big deal. We'll find another use for it if there's extra. So to that, I'm going to add just a tiny bit of ketchup. It's not traditional, but it's what I like, maybe a teaspoon. We're going to go with Dijon mustard again, probably 2 teaspoons. We'll go with a splash of Worcestershire. A couple dashes of hot sauce. I'm gonna add some black pepper, maybe half a teaspoon. Same thing with paprika, about half a teaspoon. Go with at least a teaspoon of your favorite Cajun seasoning. Add more if you like. Maybe quarter teaspoon of garlic powder. I've got one green onion I diced up real small, so I'm gonna get this added. Kind of tricky to pick up these little pieces. I've got that lemon I zested earlier. I'm gonna save it and use about half a lemon's worth of juice and just use my fingers to catch any seeds that come in. Squeeze that in. Wash my hands and I'll show you the last couple things and we'll whip it together. So the last two things we're gonna add is some relish. You can use sweet or dill, whichever you prefer. I'll go with a good spoonful or two, maybe a spoonful and a half. Perfect. And the last thing is just a little bit of prepared horseradish. So I'm probably only gonna do about a quarter teaspoon or half a teaspoon, just enough to really give it a good zing. And that's it. We'll get all this mixed together. I'm gonna throw it into the fridge and let it come together while we let our crab cakes rest. In half an hour or so, I'll start warming up the Blackstone. We'll show you how we're gonna cook these. Well, here we are outside. I got the Blackstone on a good medium to low heat. Put just a little bit of avocado oil down where you're gonna gently place your crab cakes. Don't mess with them, don't play with them, just let them sit there and cook. I drizzle just a little bit of extra avocado oil on the top because my Blackstone runs down just a little bit. Move that oil around so it gets a good even coverage while they crisp up. After about 3 or 4 minutes, we're gonna flip it over very carefully and do the same thing on the other side. Another 3 or 4 minutes until they get golden brown and delicious. I can tell you they look good, they smell good, and I was hungry. So we'll bring them inside and see how we did. All right, we're all done. I took 2 and plated them up just so you guys can see them. Put some of the remoulade over top and sprinkled just a little bit of green onion. And you gotta eat these while they're hot and while they're fresh. So let's see how we did. Get a bite right here. Perfect. You get that lemon, the crab really comes through. Just a great balance, really light, really simple, super easy. You can do them on the stove, you can even bake them. However you want to cook them, I definitely say try this recipe. It's really, really easy, and it's a great way to show off for your friends or your family. If you like what we're doing, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can see what other stuff we got coming out next, and as always, y'all have a great day, because we got to eat these.